Good evening, everybody. What's going on tonight? What's up, Ms. Roy? What's up, PM Collector Boy? What's up, Justin Brett? Fury Fighter, Fury Fighter. Thank you for streaking. I do love viewers who streak. Hi, everybody. Happy Saturday. I hope you're doing well. I'm doing pretty good. I am doing perfectly okay. Had some time to kick back and relax a bit today after work. What with it being Saturday and it being a busy day for my wife and my kids, and not so much for me. Good evening, man. Good to see you. Original Fallout 3 is the Game of the Year edition. Or it is the Game of the Year edition. Yes. Walk into thank you for streaking. Well, where's your streak, Spiso? If you want in on this, get to streaking. Hard part was finding a trench coat. But yeah. Most horrendous memory leak with your Fallout 3 Game of the Year edition. That's weird. That is really weird. I mean, yeah, like, Bethesda games are all over the place. They are messy and awkward and unstable and stuff. I've always had pretty good luck with Fallout 3. Dave Thulu, thank you so much for the, Jesus Christ, 315 stream. Didn't have any pockets to hold my stream. So yeah, I got lucky on this one. Honestly, my experience has always been, like, Fallout 3 has been solid for me. I had a few experiences, the first time I played Fallout 3 where I would occasionally, like, fall out of a dungeon or something. Like, I'd fall through the floor in the subway. But then I'd just reload my last save and everything was fine. New Vegas was the rough one for me. New Vegas wouldn't even run when I first got it. And then after some actually, I don't think I was able to play New Vegas until after I got a different computer. And then it would play, but it would crash all the time on me. So hopefully when I get to around to New Vegas on this system, it'll be as solid as Fallout 3 has been for me. But we'll all find out together, I suppose. So, but yeah, hope you're all doing well. Hope you're having a good weekend, a relaxing weekend, a weekend of peaceful repose, if that is your thing. I'm actually having a really good weekend, and I'll tell you why. I went into work this morning to discover that our Amazon Fresh had finally decided to mark down all of their alcohol 50%. Everything. So I let my wife know, and she was there when the doors opened, and we were able to stock up on all the things that we've been wanting to get for a while. So I have a bunch of bottles of Malibu again, so I can have one of my favorite drinks. Booze. Yeah, we stocked up. We stocked up. This was our opportunity. I got some new stuff. I actually got a really nice bottle of whiskey. My wife got this wine that she absolutely loves. 50% off, 50% smaller bottle. For the very first time I played Fallout 3 on Windows 7, it crashed exactly 30 seconds after the prologue. That's so terribly specific. Been checking out Milano's Odd Job collection. Pixel animation is exquisite, and minigames give you barely enough time to finish them. Tough when they overtune things like that. How different was nerd culture back in the 90s? Nintendo Power thought it was important to educate their readers on what Dragon Ball is. Well, let's see. This was early 96. When did Okay, so here's the thing. At the beginning of 1996, Dragon Ball Z was not on TV yet. It had been licensed for release. It was on the way, but that would have been much later in 1996. I know from personal experience that Dragon Ball, the original Dragon Ball, could be seen on some TV networks at odd hours in previous years. I watched a couple episodes of Dragon Ball as a youth, but it was not the cultural touchstone that Dragon Ball Z ended up being. So yes, readers at this time would have needed to be educated on what Dragon Ball is. See the small bottles, what in the fuck is a fireball? Can you actually drink that straight? Are you talking about the cocktail, or are you talking about the brand? Because I've heard the brand Fireball whiskey is actually pretty good. It's cinnamon whiskey. I've never tried it. There's board games of Dad Night, which is more important than Dragon Quest VI. If there were 5, maybe there'd be an argument. You can drink Fireball straight, but you shouldn't. Tastes like a Red Hot. That's kind of what I assumed, yeah. Red Hot on top of that whiskey bite, I guess. Seems like it might be a bit much, but still. It is harsh and tastes like cinnamon if it was poison. If there's any bottles of it left over at my store, well, I might pick one up just to see. So, today was crazy at the store. It was the busiest I have ever seen our store, but everybody was like crowding into the alcohol aisle. When I left at 2 p.m., over half the aisle had been cleaned out. I'm fully expecting to go in tomorrow and it just be wiped out completely. How much longer you got? Store closes on Friday. The last day for us associate types is Saturday, but I'm not scheduled for Saturday. It's a day off for me. So my last day will be the last day the store is open to the public on the 13th. And how auspicious it is, the store closing on Friday the 13th. But yeah. So I know our store is pretty much already cleaned out. In produce and meat, like we've over half the shelves and tables are empty, and we've been consolidating a lot of stuff. Wear a goalie mask where they do fire. Today was a far better day. March 7th, can you believe it? What's up, Justin Brett? So yeah, I don't know, like today was, it was kind of sad today, like, cause I was like cleaning shelves and like breaking stuff down and whatnot. Oh yeah, it's daylight savings tonight, isn't it? Oh, that's gonna suck ass. I might cut tonight's stream real short because of that, because that is going to hit me real hard. I'm gonna lose an hour of sleep when I'm only getting like 5 to begin with. So yeah, we'll see how tonight goes. We'll see what happens. Because we are in the back half of the magazine right now, and I don't know how much of note is actually beyond this feature here. But yeah, thanks for reminding me. I appreciate that. Yeah. But yeah, anyway. Oh god, like now that's gonna distract me thinking about that. I totally forgot about that. Please outlaw daylight savings already. Yeah, somebody needs to convince Trump that like daylight savings is like a plot against him or something, so he axes it. Trick him into doing something useful for once. Pants and Maze Day, I'm learning I don't like paying the sculpts that much. Right now I'm waiting for a crater side supply reset our inventory because I need laser pistols. Only a week until the Ides! Beware! Beware. Good evening, Nemrin. Good to see you. Yeah, there you go. Daylight savings is categorically woke. Yeah. There you go. Just write that on a cocktail napkin and slip it under his Diet Coke or whatever. No bullshit our government will push through and they won't kill daylight savings. I know, right? I know. Tragic. Well, anyway, we better get to it then, because I don't know how much I don't know how much we're gonna get through tonight. I don't know how long I'm gonna be up, because I think pretty understandably I'm already pretty tired. Despite taking it kind of easy today after getting back from work. So, tonight, of course, is the Power Hours chat. Tomorrow night is nothing. I don't stream on Sundays, and especially not when I'm getting up at like 5 a.m. every day to work. So I'm gonna need tomorrow to rest and recuperate so I can come roaring back on Monday with more Fallout 3. Exploring Rivet City and its associated environs. Next week, I don't think there's really gonna be any surprises next week. Well, there might be one. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday will be Fallout 3. We'll keep on chugging with that. Thursday, if we don't finish the Power Hours tonight, which we probably won't, we'll continue it on Thursday and into Saturday as needed. If we do finish it, if we do finish the magazine tonight, well, I'll tell you what we're gonna do after that. And then I don't know what next Friday is gonna be. I might do something special since it's my last day of work. I might mark the occasion with something unique, but we'll see. We'll see, chat. Reminds me I have a silicone mold of a statue of Brutus to make. How are we feeling about this slime with a non-pointed top? He looks like a douche, literally. Wilmots in morning/celebration. That's actually not a bad idea. I actually kind of like that. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do that. I started playing Wilmot's Warehouse couple months back, but I didn't stick with it. It's fun though. I was enjoying it. Maybe I'll pick up one of those like indie grocery store simulators on Steam. Streams Hellbart! Actually, kind of neat game. It's a grocery store simulator. I've had abysmal hell demons. I'll look that up. Yeah, we might have to do something grocery store related. Management simmy. What about, there's that one horror game that's set in like a grocery store or something, like, oh god, it came out like last year, I think. It was big for a minute. About like crazy customers or something. The title was a phrase, but I don't remember what the phrase was. It might have been Night of the Consumer, yeah. That might be what I'm thinking of. Look up supermarket games that Let's Game It Out. That's exactly what I was thinking. Same brain cell there. That is exactly what I had in mind. I can't break shit like he does, but I was watching Factorio vids today too, chat. Apropos of absolutely nothing, I was watching Factorio vids. Okay, I should mention this. I kind of discovered something about myself tonight. I was bumming around for a bit and playing games and trying stuff. I told you I reinstalled Satisfactory. I decided to get going on that again. I started a new game and it just wasn't clicking. I just wasn't feeling it. So I reinstalled Dyson Sphere program. And I got real wrapped up in that. I got really, really, really absorbed in that. And based on what I know about Factorio, I think Factorio is closer to Dyson Sphere program than it is to Satisfactory. So my automation section, my auto curiosity in Factorio is growing. Satisfactory went on sale before I could dig into Factorio, but after I played over 2 hours. I was afraid it might be nice to consumers. I loathe that. Oh my god, why did you loathe it? That is a strong emotion. That is a powerful reaction to a video game. But we'll continue this conversation as we get into the magazine, because for now, welcome back to February of 1996 and this special, very special feature on Dragon Quest VI. Some of you eagle-eyed, sharp-minded folks in the audience might be like, where's Breath of Fire 2? It's over here. I said last time, like, we stopped on this Breath of Fire 2 feature. I'm skipping over this entirely because we are gonna do a democratic playthrough of this. And it was almost the game, it was almost our next game instead of Fallout 3. So I'm choosing to just eschew any information about Breath of Fire 2, because other than the little bit of it I played before, I don't know anything about it. So I'm sure as we go through it, we'll revisit this particular feature, because if nothing else, I need to have some kind of magazine pages open for the way my overlay is set up while we play it. So I figured, let's go ahead and jump straight to Dragon Quest VI. And we'll see how Nintendo Power is presenting it to the Western audience, now that we're years out from the last Dragon Quest release in the West. And if y'all want to see it, we can play a bit of it. But yeah. Weird gross-out imagery matched up with customer jump scare bullshit is one of the few Fs I've given to games the bundle. Oof. Oh, it's in the bundle! Oh, that means I have it then. Try it out then. Good evening, Peach. Good to see you. At the finish, thank goodness you're here, which is charming in a lot of ways, ultimately not for you. Recommend if you enjoy more vulgar bits of Monty Python and elsewhere. Gotcha. Blind democracy, much like justice. Ooh, I hate humidity. What's up, Lojo? Hi, good to see you. Did someone actually make a model of a slime for that picture? It looks really, really, really good to be 1990s art. It is actually CG. It is actually a computer render. Might be kind of hard to tell through the stream, but I can tell you, looking at the actual page, it is 100% a CG render. Much like this landscape back behind the title here. It's very British. I don't think it's the Britishness, it was the turn-off. So what's all the fuss about, chat? Who cares about these dragons and the questions and the what's his name? Bryce-ass landscape. About 2 months ago, a phenomenon of monumental proportions swept over Japan, affecting nearly every game player in the nation. There was a storm that did not touch the land of the rising sun for 3 years, but the long hiatus only served to make the effect stronger than ever. The phenomenon had the force of a tsunami and the drama of a typhoon, but it can be controlled oddly enough, even by children. The force of which we speak is Dragon Quest VI from Enix, perhaps the single most anticipated video game of all time. The road to the national release of Dragon Quest VI seemingly was paved with stones the size of houses. Almost from the time of the Super Famicom Super NES release back in 1991, Enix had talked about this game. More than a year ago, the game was set to be released, but further development was required, and the rumor of the sixth coming of Dragon Quest died. Enix wanted the game to take the RPG world by storm. They worked on... Somebody didn't edit that one very well. Finally, the finished game appeared to the public at Shoshinkai in November 1995. The launch was set for a few weeks later on December 9th. Previous launches of Dragon Quest games have met with crowds numbering more than 1 million strong, snaking through the great cities of Japan. These days were treated as holidays by legions of Japanese gamers who camped out at stores with the hope of purchasing their own copy of the latest Dragon Quest. Which one? I always forget which Dragon Quest it is that actually forced a change in or forced regulation in which day video games could be released on. Why is that Dragon Quest line so perfect? 3 allegedly. I mean, honestly, I don't care if the story is apocryphal or not. I love it. I actually don't like Toriyama's people designs that much, but the monsters are all really good. I think he does a really good job of giving monsters a lot of personality. Like, the monsters seem just as much people as his people, and I think that helps a lot. The games aren't cheap either. In Japan, 32 megabit Dragon Quest VI cost about 11,400 yen, or over $100 US. Nintendo Power managed to snag one of the first copies and fly back to America, where he began playing the game immediately. It's estimated that Enix will sell between 3 and 4 million Dragon Quest VI game packs in the first few months of release, which will make it one of the hottest selling games ever. Going through the second Transformers anime, I think if this keeps up, is going to sneakily take the title of the first Transformers thing to be unironically good from Beast Wars. When did they just have artists use his style and he was no longer involved? That's a good question. Where is this song from? This song is from... according to the annotations, Majin Tensei. Subtitle Spiral Nemesis. I think they always have for Dragon Quest. Every time I see Dragon Quest title, I find myself longing for another Dragon Quest Builders game. Oh no, it's said, don't worry. Yeah, it hurts me too, honestly. Even though I'm not the biggest Dragon Quest fan in the world, I love the Builders games. I loved both of the Builders games so much, and I'm sad that barring an absolute miracle, there's not going to be another one. Maybe if I finally crack down and play Dragon Quest 3, maybe that will will it into being. Hey, I made Silksong appear by streaming Hollow Knight, so anything's possible. What makes the Dragon Quest series so special to Japanese gamers? In the US, the Dragon Warrior series, which is just Dragon Quest translated in English, they mean localized. Dragon Warrior is not the translation of Dragon Quest. It was their decision to rename that. It sold in the hundreds of thousands as opposed to the millions in Japan. Our Japanese colleagues mentioned several reasons for the unswerving support for Dragon Quest. The story is a big part of it, a sweeping epic involving kingdoms, magic, and dragons. In addition to the plot, the Dragon Quest series is familiar to its audience because many aspects of the world never seem to change, including many of the battle and play control conventions. We've talked about this, chat, especially in light of the Final Fantasy series endlessly transforming and reinventing itself, sometimes to its own detriment. In stark contrast to that, the Dragon Quest series is the immovable rock of the RPG world. You can follow any Dragon Quest with any other Dragon Quest and immediately know exactly what you are doing. And there is definitely a sort of comfort, a sort of coziness to that I think its fans really appreciate. Good evening, Shadows. It's good to see you. Glad you're here. My thing was always Dragon Quest Monsters, Builders, Rocket Slime. What if it had Pokemon? Pokopia thing is by the Dragon Quest Builders League creatives. About Final Fantasy VIII builders, unironically would be very cool. Unironically would be really, really neat. Final Fantasy VIII would be a really interesting one to do that with too. because of the conventions of the setting. Like I could totally see like helping to rebuild the world from one of the floating gardens after like a particularly cataclysmic moonfall or something. Would a 12-year-old in 1996 know what localization even is? Would Nintendo Power's writers know what localization even is? I feel like that's a much more modern distinction for most people. I'm not 100% sure a lot of people right now know what localization is. At least one noteworthy exception, Dragon Quest VIII's tension system. Well, I know nothing of that, but yeah. Do a Final Fantasy Builders based on the World of Ruin? Oh, that'd be awesome. That'd be so good. Yes, I gave the stream this title for a reason. Clearly. Pokopia is unexpectedly dark. Sure, loading your digital card to play is downloaded right now. It's like, what if Pokemon did not stop climate change and life went on anyway? Oh, wow. Humanity is dead and you play as a Ditto aping the form of... Oh my god. Dragon Quest makes experimental titles more often spin-offs, like the Zelda, like with giant tank battles between dungeons. And the dopamine administering spreadsheets is again. Good evening, Eva. Good to see you. Dragon Quest 9 is like a co-op weird turn-based Diablo-inspired sort of thing. It is good though. I don't... Dragon Quest 9 isn't that weird. Dragon Quest... Hang on. If Dragon Quest 9 is the one I'm thinking of... Okay, sorry, I just wanted to refresh, because I think my wife actually played Dragon Quest 9, and I watched over her shoulder for a bit of it, and it was Dragon Quest. Bold choice of them to say in this post-apocalyptic world Pokemon are not being forced into death battles, but forced labor is okay. I learned this week that Final Fantasy Stranger in Paradise is a fight. You didn't know that? Yeah, Jack Garland. sorry. It's just, if you know anything about Final Fantasy 1, it is like, it's not subtle. It's not subtext. It's just text. Really enjoy semi-cozy post-apocalyptic stuff. I do too, honestly. I do too. Wait, what makes Atelier Dusk series, Portia and Sandrock cool too? Ancillary and multiplayer stuff is otherwise just Dragon Quest. Yeah. Love that one bit in a dungeon where Jack sincerely goes, "I'm sorry, I don't dislike either of you, I'm just kind of like that." I like the spirit of fuck it, we rebuild. Yeah. I think 9 is the one that came out for the DS and it's who cares era. 9 was still a big deal though. If I remember correctly, 9 did really, really well. Both Dragon Quest Builder games are post-apocalypse. They absolutely are. Yeah, and I think that's, honestly, I think that's part of the appeal of it. Because you definitely get that very like cozy post-apocalyptic vibe from it. Wow, war happened here. Anyway, taking this whole throne room home with me. Oh, and 8, I think the one that was supposed to be Diablo-like. I will get around to experiencing all of them eventually, but it's gonna be a slow process, chat. Stranger Paradise is kind of insanely convoluted. That's your problem with Final Fantasy 13 too. These stories are way too high concept. See, the problem is that works for a lot of the fan base, is the thing. Personally, I blame Kingdom Hearts. I feel like you can blame a lot of things on Kingdom Hearts at the end of the day. But yeah, I think the overwhelmingly positive reception to Kingdom Hearts and its super convoluted, high concept, wound up storyline and stuff. I think Square kind of spiraled out of control after that. Nine did so well, we didn't get another game localized until 7-8 remix on 3DS. I mean, isn't that just because 10 was an MMO? I think Dragon Quest X is kind of a special circumstance there. Hmm? 13 having multiple in-game recaps is just proof they knew it was too much. Yeah, Final Fantasy 13 is terribly excessive. Terribly, terribly excessive. Kingdom Hearts is simple. You just need to play 8 games over 5 consoles to get it, dummy. If I recall, with 13, they just made all the cinematics first and then said, okay, fill in a story. Let's see how that went. 10 is pretty niche in Japan, too, apparently. Just big enough to keep around, but only just big enough? Yeah. Not surprised. Forcing Squeenix to remake Final Fantasy VII was an attempt to fix the problem. They rolled in their own filth and it's a really funny way to put it. Okay, anyway, where was I in this? Never seen a change. Other players cite the musical score is an important factor in the challenge in raising your characters to powerful heights of strength. In Dragon Quest VI, fans expect more of all these elements. It seems they are getting it. They got a little insight here about the creators, like Yuji Horii. Prior to writing the Dragon Quest series of games, Mr. Horii wrote multiple-path murder mystery game from Enix called Portopia Murder Case. More recently, joined the celebrated development team that created Chrono Trigger for Square. Akira Toriyama, we all know. Art of Akira Toriyama may be best known in Japan for the Dragon Ball series of comics and TV cartoons and video games, also created the characters of Chrono Trigger. And Koichi Sugiyama. Sugiyama has been called the greatest composer in the video game music world. In addition to music in the Dragon Quest games, he composed the Dragon Quest Symphony for performance by the London Philharmonic Orchestra. For Final Fantasy getting weird, I think it was a thing since the beginning, culminated with 7 and then just worked further from there. There was definitely a big jump between 6 and 7. They were definitely getting more adventurous with the setting. Like, there's a pretty big jump between Final Fantasy 5 and 6 in terms of the setting. Like, up through 5, it's more or less a conventional high fantasy world, but with some, like, weird tech or ancient civilizations or robots or something. And then with 6, I think they kind of took a bigger swerve with the whole like steampunk magical industrial revolution thing, and then yeah, they went whole hog with 7 and 8, and kind of pulled it back in ways with 9, and then reconsidered and went even crazier with 10 and beyond. Well, not a Dragon Quest game I've been looking at it. Final Fantasy XII's remake thing, Zodiac War. Forgot, I never did beat it and I did like it. Isn't it kind of like the international version of Final Fantasy X, where it's basically the same game? They just kind of like remade, they reworked or expanded certain systems in it. All goes back to Portopia. All my homies hate Sugiyama. Yeah, he was not a good dude, was he? "70 is rather unsubtle and direct with his messaging and lore. 8 to me is the start of the series disappearing. That's not how I would characterize 8. But you do you. So being in the tactics world. Yeah. Sugiyama was a homophobic war crimes apologist. There you go. I just know Final Fantasy 12 is the only one I played and didn't get far. I want to play and finish it. A lot of people like Final Fantasy 12. The group of friends I was in at the time that 12 came out kind of biased me against it because they were not fans of it. But I might give it a try at some point. Franny isn't the reason I want to go back, I promise, maybe. You said it's interesting and also argue it's good. 12 is also where... Isn't 12 like the first one where they kind of really start getting away from the traditional battle system? Yeah, single player MMO in terms of fight mechanics. I know they kind of pulled back from that with 13. 13 is more traditionally like turn-based. But then, yeah, from like 15 on, it was like weird. Hang on one sec, chat. I'll be right back. My wife just came to remind me about daily savings too, so I really can't stay up too late tonight. "12 is real time with pause. CRPG real time with pause. As long as you pretend Van isn't the main character, it's great. It's up around the board. I haven't played 11 online to compare. I'd say 12 is where the core gameplay really starts changing. I don't know about y'all, but I don't really consider Final Fantasy 11 or 14 to be like mainline Final Fantasy games. I know they're numbered, I know they're in there, but they're just so vastly different in terms of gameplay experience. I just don't even consider them. Like if I was gonna sit down and say, all right, chat, I am devoting my streaming life to playing the entire Final Fantasy series, that would not include 11 or 14. No, I'm not expecting it to be a hot take. I'm just saying. I'm just putting that out there. Van is fine. I mean, I can't say anything. I like Titus. I think Titus is a great character. And I know a bunch of people get irritated at Titus. I know about 11, 14 does have a rich main storyline you can play like a mainline game. I know it does. I know it does. My main thing is it's an MMO. And you gotta... You have to... You have to face it. You have to confront it as an MMO. It is an entirely different gameplay experience. 11 is a decent mainline game, definitely more in the tradition of EverQuest than 14 is. 14 is a story-driven Final Fantasy with an MMO in it. 11 is the opposite. Tide is a good character. That doesn't make him not a frustrating dweeb at times, though. Yeah. I already did flip the page, Arcane. Didn't you notice? Different colored slime. Last one was blue. This one was gold. 14 is a huge time investment. You got to fight the social anxiety super boss to play it. Star 14 is also different from the rest. Yeah, a big part of it is I don't think I can do MMOs anymore. I don't think I have it in me, really. Did remove a lot of the social anxiety friction in recent years. What is time anymore? I don't know, Arcane. We're about to lose an hour of it. Okay, with Titus, even as douchiest. I mean, he's not a douche. He really isn't. He's a good guy. My big thing with Titus is he is relentlessly positive when by all accounts he shouldn't be. He has the backstory of like a brooding emo JRPG protagonist and then like plays against that entirely. Titus is kind of like if Denji wasn't horny. Oh my god, you're kind of right there. He has an annoying laugh, though. That's the point. Meathead. Yeah, a very lovable meathead. Absolutely. He's great. Think people got fed up with moody, brooding Final Fantasy protagonists 7 and 8. Okay. Cloud isn't, like, brooding, though. Like, not really. And this is something that I will never get over, is I feel like everybody's impression of Cloud has been so thoroughly colored by everything that came out after Final Fantasy VII that nobody remembers what he actually was like in Final Fantasy VII. He's kind of a goofball. And he's kind of a goofball because he, like, takes himself too seriously a lot of the time. Cloud is a character that things happen to. Squall is also not really that bad. I'm gonna revisit Final Fantasy VIII eventually, and we're gonna talk about this because I know a lot of hay has been made about its localization. And a lot of the problems with Squall's characterization and Renault's characterization have been laid at the feet of localization. And I want to go over this myself. So funny because no one remembering the true past is the thing in Final Fantasy VII. I know, right? Glad you're all right with it. This is kind of pretty huge stretch where he's not as sharp but still stoic, where he's kind of boring. Feels like he's in a lull of character development moments for a good while. I don't really see it like that. Because, I mean, he suffers a pretty major trauma halfway through the game. And spends most of the rest of the plot run, like, coming to terms with that. Gonna play Final Fantasy in Japanese and translate for us? I would love to, if I was capable of that. But unfortunately, I'm not. So. Having no voiceover for Final Fantasy VIII makes Squall come off a little harsher in English. Squall is awkward, and that's why he doesn't speak much, I always thought. Well, we're gonna have to revisit this together. We're gonna have to see how it hits in the far future year of 2026. But yeah, might be the next Final Fantasy we play even. Who knows, chat? Who knows? The battle remains the same. It's like I said, chat. Dragon Quest never changes. Looks surprisingly battles in the first Dragon Quest. Na 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 na. There's an auto. Na 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 na. I mean, this is a lot of words to say. It's the same as it's always been. There is a profession system. What we know now is the job system. Dragon Quest has been running off the job system since 3 or 4. Like, they had a long stretch of job system focus, right? Dragon Quest VI's big change is abilities. Non-spellcasters also get side modes. Okay. 3 off and on. Okay. Showed up in 3, then went away till 6. Really? Three, 6, 7, 9, probably 10. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Warrior, fighter, dancer, magician, monk, thief, beastmaster, freelancer, magic fighter, charismatic. There's a class they call charismatic. Superstar, merchant, battle master, paladin. Paladin, chat. Like, you can't tell me they don't know what paladins are. Cecil was a paladin in Final Fantasy IV. Dragon Warrior 6, which we know today is Final Fantasy 6. The vast world of Dragon Quest contains secret areas, extra games, new ways to travel, new magical spells, and even a few practical options make the game a bit easier to play. This last category follows a new option that allows players to recall conversations. Oh, that's pretty cool. Another change concerns a vital search command. You may have to search in odd places. If you use a search command at a well, you'll find yourself actually climbing down the rope. You can also use a search spell to find hidden items. That's pretty cool. With all these wonders, we can only hope that a US version will find its way over the Pacific. I have bad news for you. Oh, I know something real dumb. I went to play Evoland 2 the other day and install only find everything in Japanese with no way of changing to English. It's tied to the Windows language option. Which is the best Dragon Quest, by the way? Oh my. Oh boy. When I time to Dragon Quest 6, I got to professions, decided, well, like my mage is a mage, so I'll make her a wizard, and the stat changes made her into the glassest of cannons. Aww. 5 and 8, but 11 is up there too. Builders too. When AoE from on-level randos, she was one shot. 5 and 8, huh? The screenshots make this look really good. I think after my experience with Dragon Warrior 2, I wasn't super excited about Dragon Quest games, and the fact that there weren't any on Super Nintendo kind of made me gloss over this one when it showed up in the magazine. So 8 had skill points to customize default characters with, and that was pretty good. Alright, so anyway, this is a preview of yet another game that wouldn't actually show up on the Super Nintendo, so sad. A shame. And then we got strategy for Secret of Evermore. Looks like a bit of... Oh, this is all like strategy and secret stuff. First puzzle seems to stumble out players how to get up to the top of the volcano. I do remember that one being kind of tricky. Requiring a lot of wandering. Get past the stone, the volcano core, the volcano pipes. It's interesting that they have a section on the Nobilia Marketplace because they broke down that whole thing in the feature for it. Like every time I played Secret of Evermore, I had it open to that page that told what each trading stall was offering specifically. That says strategy. I thought it says Strat Boy. Dragon Quest Rocket Slime has a wooden mech named Chrono Twigger, which is the only good thing to come out of that squeeze. I want an Annihilation Amulet. I think we'd do a lot of good with one of those, frankly. Then some tips on the Oglin, the Dark Forest, the Ebonkeep Sewer. Getting the bazooka and such. 80 hours in the game informed me of a steal after battle. Funny. Counselor's Corner. Oh god, it's Yoshi's Island again. Where are the 4 red coins in World 1-7? Seriously? And then one of the greatest boss battles ever, Raphael the Raven at the end of World 5. I think I could cure depression simply by playing Dragon Quest Builders instead of new games. Rise of the Phoenix. Oh yeah, this is another like 3 Kingdoms strategy thingy thing. How do I flood a city? That's not a question you get asked very often. Flooding a defender city severely reduces the city's defense rating and lowers enemy morale. Yeah, it ruined my morale, frankly. Flood only cities that border 2 river squares. Your general will tell you at the beginning of battle if it is possible to flood a city. This command won't come until later during the fight. Wait for your general to tell you the options available. Choose the attack command and select the word flood. Rise of the Triad on SNES? No. That would be something to see. Oh god, they would have had to censor so much stuff in that. Really detailed wargaming, yeah. I gotta say though, I like the old consoles. I don't think were the best platforms for these really detailed strategy sims. Just the like, after playing games like this for years with a mouse. I mean, that's the ironic part. There was a Super NES mouse, and a lot of them just didn't have interfaces for it. 3 FPS Rise of the Triad, yeah. I mean, Rise of the Triad levels did have pretty simple geometry, at least. More Secret of Evermore, endgame stuff. Real endgame stuff. Donkey Kong Land. How do I defeat K. Rool? From this, it sounds like the boss fight with K. Rool is almost exactly like the one in Donkey Kong Country. That was right on the cusp of being too long for me. That is Lion King background music playing, yes. Rise of Triad levels had jump pads and gads. Yeah, I remember like the actual like 3D architecture of Rise of the Triad was very, very simple. The floating platforms were just like sprites hovering in the air. But then again, the Super NES would have just as much trouble rendering that many sprites as it would detailed 3D architecture. So yeah, 3 FPS Rise of the Triad might actually be giving them too much credit, if anything. And then some fast facts from MechWarrior 3050, Urban Strike, and PGA Tour 96. Urban Strike. Can I defeat the enemies in the danger zone? Areas flashing danger zone indicate you can't enter there yet. When you shoot some of the enemies, you're usually wasting your time. Come back later. That's weird. I never got to see any danger zones in Urban Strike. Sounds like their version of invisible walls. Oh, it's Nestor's Funky Bowling, which really is not that much fun. I mean, it's a perfectly fine bowling game, but that's it. That is it. What you see here is what you get, chat. Speaking of danger zones. Yep. I danger. Nestor Freaks for Funky Bowling. What'd you fucking call me? Oh my god. Join Nestor and his twin sister Hester for some frantic fun at the virtual bowling lanes. Longtime readers will remember Nestor and his ongoing quest to star in his own video game. Partnered with his twin sister Hester, Nestor finally realizes his dream in Nestor's Funky Bowling for the Virtual Boy. The spike-haired pair tear up the lanes in 1-player and 2-player alternating action. Oh god, 2-player on the Virtual Boy? Trading the headset back and forth? Ugh. As twin sister Hester not shown here because of the 90s and Girls. They've been Nestor and Howard's Funky Bowling. It was sold millions. Stunned at how competent it was for a Virtual Boy game. I mean, yeah, it's inoffensive. There is nothing wrong with it other than just the conspicuous lack of content. You just bowl. And I mean, I feel a little bad giving it flack for that, but like, I feel like you can't evaluate Virtual Boy games in a vacuum. You can't really evaluate them on their own merits because each one is carrying the system on its back, you know? This isn't like, you know, on the Super NES, if you get a bowling game where all you do is bowl or whatever, we can be like, yeah, sure, for bowling fans, that's great. Because there's other stuff for other folks on the system. But like Virtual Boy got 22 games total. And one of them is just a completely no-frills bowling game. I have a problem with that, you know? It's a boy stitch and girl stitch situation. Mr. Rest of Dragon Quest chat because her phone died. Oh no! Get metal slime. The bowling itself is incredibly realistic, while the twins' animated antics keep you entertained between frames. Basically them just mugging for the camera. Level challenge is very high, and the game has that same just one more time quality that made Tetris and Dr. Mario mega hits. I would not have likened this one to Tetris, personally. I see what you're doing here, Nintendo Power. I just wouldn't have done it. Can we discuss the sentence, Nestor Freaks for Funky Bowling? So my first question, is this even a complete sentence? Is freaks the verb here? Or is it a noun? Is it saying that people known as Nestor freaks are they support the funky bowling? That would be a sentence fragment, but it kind of makes a little bit more sense than Nestor freaking all over the place for his funky ass bowling. Intended as a verb. Intended. Nestor is the Wii bowling game as Bubsy is to Super Mario. If I become a Nestor freak, please old yeller me. Oh my god. Bowling, now this is insightful, chat. Bowling is really physics turned into a game. Players must judge how a moving object will affect a group of stationary ones. Mass, speed, and angle of attack all help determine which pins will fall when the ball hits them, and the game's programmers have done a fantastic job making the action of the ball and pins realistic. In Nestor's Funky Bowling, just as in real bowling, you can finesse your throw to make pins bounce, ricochet, and roll around, knocking down other pins in turn. Nestor and Hester freaks. Honestly, I'd replace my 5 recommendation with 4 if you want to start with an earlier Taylor. Oh, wow. So yeah, there's practice, there's challenge, there's bowl. That's it. That's it. That's all the funky bowling there is. And yet, they turned this into a 4-page spread. A breakdown of some of the challenge stuff. Okay, I will say though, I really appreciate the throwback Nestor mugs here. I do really appreciate that. I sometimes pine for the early days of Nintendo Power Chat, the innocent late 80s when they were still finding their footing. And Nestor, this Nestor art in particular takes me back. I didn't like the Nestor comic after Howard left, chiefly because of the art style change. Gonna put in 1K or time is worth more than bleeding eyes. Yeah, this one, I almost hate to say it, this one really isn't worth it. It's just bowling. It does have some fairly funky, like, bowling alley animations, which I will give it some credit for, but gameplay wise, it's nothing. It's really nothing worth talking about. But then there's Prehistoric Man. With a little sidebar at the top about Titus. Titus returns with 3 promising Super NES titles. Titus all but disappeared from the scene last year with 3 Super NES games waiting in the wings. This year under new management, and after seeing the brisk holiday sales of Super NES, is finally releasing Prehistoric Man, Artie Lightfoot, and Sink or Swim. Even though we covered both Prehistoric Man and Artie Lightfoot last year, as the Titus titles arrive in stores, we think they're worth a second look. This month we're offering refreshers on the first 2 games as well as a brief look at Sink or Swim, a game we passed over earlier. Complete coverage of Prehistoric Man, take a look back at the 6-page review that ran in June for additional coverage of Artie Lightfoot. See the March issue from last year. Wow! I didn't actually realize they did this, chat. They actually did full features for Prehistoric Man and Artie Lightfoot. The games got delayed for an entire year, and then they went back and gave them more coverage. Like, I can't think of a time they ever did that outside of, like, first-party stuff. Like, when they refeatured Metroid 1, when I can't remember if it was 2 or 3 was coming out. Titus's logo promise is only the most painful of Euro gaming. I mean, I remember we tried this one. It was a pretty whatever platformer. Lizard people show up and steal all your food, and you gotta go kick their asses and get it back. Very DKC approach to storytelling. As it happens. Oh, this is Artie Lightfoot. The key art for Artie Lightfoot's pretty cool. When combined, the 7 pieces of Mystic Rainbow grant anyone any wish desired. Unfortunately, the evil Visconti is a wish nobody else wants to see come true, and only Artie Lightfoot can stop him. 17 stages is quite a bit. I remember I didn't like this one. I think there are some folks in chat who appreciate it more than I did, but I am not an Artie Lightfoot fan. I also remember quite notably, y'all made me play it one night, and then like a week or two later, it came around again, and I completely forgot I had already played it once. Reminds me of the Cheese Doodles Caveman mascot that was all over the pogs. To the credit, Nintendo Power managed to say, hey, we thought these games were released a year ago. It wasn't. Please play these games anyway. And I mean, that's honestly pretty cool of them. Indiana don't there. Artie Lightfoot and Prehistoric Man are fine. Artie Lightfoot was very cinematic. I just didn't enjoy it. I didn't really like the way the levels were laid out. I didn't like the platforming in it. It was not for me, I think. Yeah. And then there's Sink or Swim. Far off the coast of Greenland, a cruise ship has struck an iceberg and is rapidly sinking. You're the only rescuer for 1,000 miles, so all the passengers and crew are relying on you to save them. Just work your way up from the keel to the mast as password-backed puzzler is try to be the hero of the day. Depending on your skill and daring, you and the crew will either, all together now, sink or swim! Artie is a shame because if it controlled better, I think I would love it. More than kind of like it with 30 asterisks. Sink or Swim looks a little bit like the puzzle game Lemmings, and like the Lemmings, the panic crewed passengers on the sinking vessel lack the common sense they need to save themselves. You're the only brains left on board. Style of game mascot's very nostalgic. With the puppet-looking dude? Or are you talking about Artie? Thought this is the cinematic platformer SOS for a second. Yeah, this guy right here, yeah. What console this man was originally in. SOS was human, not Titus. This is a Krusty's Funhouse like. It does say they're puzzle rooms. And it does seem like you gotta save people, so yeah. It would seem so. Here. The game is Virtual Hawaiian song from Fight Dapon. The box art for this one's pretty cute, actually. I'm gonna show you real quick. Yeah, look at that. Fight Dapon. Really like the concept of SOS. The execution is like having your teeth pulled. By the devs of Ride to Hell Retribution? No. I refuse to believe those people made anything else. I just choose not to believe it. The object of some levels in Sink or Swim is to simply get everyone to a life preserver before the rising water fills the chamber. Okay. So yeah, you're trying to rescue people with water rising up in the room. So it's kind of like a timed Krusty's Funhouse. I don't know how to feel about the blank stares of those Dapons. I guess it depends. Oh God! Green Martian Man has joined the PGA European Tour. This just still wakes the deep. Oh my God, I just realized this is the sports scene. Look, okay. I was never a fan of the sports scene feature, specifically because I'm not a big fan of sports games. But I always appreciated the fake newspaper styling they had going on. I can tell you right now. What they gave that up for. They wanted this to look like a website. They absolutely wanted this to look like a AOL homepage or something. This game with radioactive golfer. Dog, they launched the sports feature the year the sports game scene for Nintendo basically died. All these games are downports of PS1 games. N64 got basically nothing in terms of good sports sims. Why is that? Actually, chat, I'm kind of curious about that. Why did the N64 suffer so terribly in terms of sports games? I know why it suffered in terms of RPGs. Because RPG developers were moving towards the additional storage provided by CD-ROMs. And they did not want to have to contend with the constraints of cartridges for their ever embiggening games. What happened with sports games? Dude, it's right away. PS1 era for EA Sports launched EA into a lot of multimedia stuff, licensed OST, FMV footage, and the N6. Ah, gotcha. N64 can do that. That makes sense. Nintendo forced them to use the weird controller setup, like how the Wii had a bunch of mandated motion controls. GameCube was better, but mini discs still kind of made that side struggle. After that, Nintendo gave up on high fidelity systems, so the Wii got ports of PS2 down ports. Basically, every sports game on the N64 is stylized. Yeah, that is a good point. 2K also gave up after the Wii. Alright, so this month they're featuring PGA European Tour, NBA Live 96, and FIFA Soccer 96. So, I'm sorry, I have no interest whatsoever in reading through this feature. Just skimming it, I'm not seeing anything particularly interesting here. So, if we must, chat. Let us tour Europe golfer style. Especially getting actual madness kind of a big deal in terms of that. Black Pearl uses a lot of words to say it's golf. Also starting the PS2 and OG Xbox sports games start relying more on online multiplayer. Ah, yes. Online multiplayer. Ours actually likes golf, so secretly he's giddy. I do actually like golf. I don't really make a secret of that. I used to play golf. This is, yeah, PGA European Tour. Used to play par 3 courses with my dad. That was a lot of fun. And miniature golf. Jesus Christ, I love miniature golf. Black Box NES golf is still really good. Practice mode. Course. Yeah, that's a bunch of European courses, alright. Get started. I could be Tony Johnstone, Constantino Rocca, Roger Davis. Oh, these are actual players! Oh my god, they actually shelled out for their likenesses. J.M. Olazabal. My dad used to call this guy, "Oh, I lost my ball." Colin Montgomery, Ronan Rafferty, Sandy Lyle, Ian Woosnan, Bernhard Lunger, Sev Ballesteros. That's pretty cool, actually. That'd be Olazabal. What effect does wood versus metal clubs have? Wood clubs like hit straighter. They launch the ball off straight. I think the big wide wood head gives the club a bit more momentum in its swing, which is better for driving straight. Irons are angled. They're more for lifting the ball. Basically, the flatter and more even the lie of the ball, the less incline you want on the face. You want something. Ideally, you want something flat. I just noticed, are there two guys kissing in the background there? The guy in the red shirt and the blue shirt there? That's oddly progressive for the time. Can love blossom on the golf course? PGA European Yowie. So yeah, your clubs from the woods down to the irons is basically you're trading distance for control. Because the more angled the head is, the more you can dig into whatever, like high grass or sand or whatever the ball is stuck in. Love how the music stopped when we pointed it out. Kissing or drug deal both happen at swanky clubhouses. Can I start? I'd really like to start. There we go. Can we just go? Okay, if you hit start, it like takes you back. I don't know how to. I don't know how to progress. Oh, there we go. Home of the Volvo Masters. Also finished with the SNES stuff. Most worthwhile SNES sports sims or ports of Genesis games anyway. All right, so there's just like no sound in this game. Awesome. Really cool. Love it. That was terrible. Maybe the music glitched out. I doubt it. The animations are pretty nice. May as well be in the parking lot. Fortunately, I managed to bounce it over the... Oh, wow, it actually has dynamic wind. Like, the wind actually changes while you're lining up your shot. They gave me a 7 iron for this? That's crazy. So, don't really use yards of measurement, only miles and acres. These numbers mean nothing to me. Chipped it in for par. In the hole. Also noticing none of the players are presently radioactive. The music in this game just cuts out randomly. It's weird. I mean, apparently there's no music while you're playing. It's only on the menus, but then even there, it cuts off. I hit that one quite straight. You've been deemed unworthy of music. Thank you for showing me the close-up of the hole when my ball is still like 20 yards away from it. Try a more recent PGA game. I had a pretty good time. Even if it offered, yeah, have you try its new right stick flicking base golf controls. Give me a 9-iron for this. Oh God, I really fucked that up. I'm still technically not on the green, even though it's like 10 yards away. What the fuck? Dude, come on, man. Fine control on this just doesn't seem to exist. It seems like you have to crush the ball if you want it to do anything. Dude, like, perfect example. So the ball goes half the length you think from the power meter. Yeah, it's really counterintuitive. All right. No, thank you. No, thank you. This is Zeno's putting green. All right, what else we got? Oh, God, they really break this one down. Break down some specific holes here. I had tickets to a golf tournament once and we spent it drinking the margarita tent and listening to the band. What else are you gonna do? I really never understood going to watch golf in person because, like, you're just gonna hang out at one of the holes, right? Unless you want to try following your favorite golfer around and pushing through the crowds that are already there. Like, you're gonna be sitting at one hole, you're gonna see some speck on the horizon, hit another speck at something, and then walk up to it and hit it again. It just doesn't sound that engaging. Didn't feel like you could see much, right? Yeah, same way motorsports are more fun on TV. Like, do you want to watch the cars go by in one very small specific section of the track, or would you rather see them at all times all the way around? Like, seems obvious to me. Same with cricket. If I wanted to watch nothing happening for 6 hours, I'd watch it on TV. Yeah, this is some passionate graphic design work here, chat. Somebody discovered the transform commands in Photoshop. They were like, we are gonna use this fucking photo whether it kills us or not. But I only have one tiny column to put it in. Oh well. This baseball is singing hot dogs. Baseball is... I don't know if it's my favorite sport to go see, because going to basketball games is, like, infectiously fun. But I really do love the experience of going to a baseball game and just, like, hanging out. just getting some food and sitting in your seat and watching stuff happen, and maybe something exciting happens, maybe it doesn't. Who gives a fuck? I like that. Baseball feels kind of like a music festival. NBA Live in 96 is pretty good on PS1. On SNES is 95 with a roster update. So yeah, see here, more basketball and some soccer. The soccer game doesn't look so different from the soccer games we played before, so I'm sorry. I have the hardest time bringing myself to care about sports games unless they really bring something new and exciting to the table, and they tend not to. Let me move my dumb head so you can see this arena map here. FIFA again in his last year's game with a roster update. Alright, challenge 1 is a real pain in the ass one. Getting 100% on everything in Yoshi's Island World 6, which of course is the final world. The Battle Zone challenge is Killer Instinct. Scoring is Fulgore. Challenge 2 is Defender. Yeah, no thank you. I can't imagine they're gonna have a ton of entrants for that one. Super Punch Out! Oh, you picked that over Doom. I can't believe you picked that over Super Nintendo Doom. As a notice, like, Canada trounced everybody else in this whole Battle Zone thing. Well, okay, when I scratch against is really funny trying to read the magazine's text. I bet. You have my deepest sympathies. I hate when my eyes get scratched and it feels like there's something in them just all the time. It's so awful. Oh, this might be interesting, chat. So their challenge was the best time for defeating Nick Bruiser, which is, I don't remember if that's the final boss or the penultimate boss. But you could basically compare this against modern speedrunning records and see how close these people got. I feel like 8... What is that, 8 minutes? No, that can't be right. Is that 8 seconds? That was 9 seconds? I think Nick is the last guy. Okay. I know, because I watched a video, I watched a Summoning Salt video about Super Punch Out, and I think it's the second to last guy who basically defines runs. There's some like RNG to his attacks, and if you get the wrong setup, like it ruins your chances. That kind of shit would infuriate me if I did speedrunning. But yeah. Alright, yeah, let's do some Super Punch Out. I have to relearn how to play Super Punch Out every time we go back to it. Speedrunners are definitely built different, yeah. I would lose my mind trying to contend with all the RNG and frame perfect tricks and stuff they gotta do. I'm never speedrunning or watching in amazement. I get annoyed even with time trials. Currently, I'm in North Katamari time trials. Continue? Bubsy? Championship? Minor circuit? Why are we continuing? I love it. Let me win! I've lost so many times I forget how winning feels.
Gabby J!
Gabby J!
Yay! Fight!
I don't remember how to play. Ow. Ooh.
1, 2, 3, 4, fight! Come on! Come on!
Ah.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, fight!
Oh, that's how you do the rush. You tap the super button. Okay. I was wondering about that.
Fight!
Like that. Okay, cool. Cool. Animated VR boxing or something where POV is close enough to see the sweat drip off the other guy's beard. I think that would sell. Oh, God. This sounds gross. Oh yeah, Fury, like, that's the kind of stuff that keeps me from ever being a speedrunner. That would drive me insane. Realism. I am the bear hugger. So it cracks me out for a brief period of time in Trackmania 2 is not ironically just faster to drive backwards. What if it was sexy gay boxing?
Fight!
Oops. Ah. I keep accidentally punching him in the stomach. I don't mean to. What's cool is a grenade launcher speedrun has a mod. The community says legit, so you can practice the parts that are less stupid RNG and more skill, which is cool. That is cool.
Fight!
Ow. Ah, shit. I was really hoping. I was really hoping I could just keep doing that to him.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh, I thought I had him.
Fight!
Ow. That time I had him. Remind me, yesterday I saw a guy crossing the street going backwards in his wheelchair.
Pizza cake.
Pizza cake. Look at all the points. Then Nations Forever has a fun bug where you go the right speed and make sure to land the car nose to the ground, mash the keys, you yourself through the air. Like, that's awesome. Having to get halfway through Major Circuit with just knockouts, non-TKO knockouts. Yeah, that's down to like knocking them out at very specific points in the match, right? Ow. Ow. Oh, that's it. Okay. Ow. Ow. Damn it. I keep doing that. Ugh. Piston Hurricane is also his porn name. Is there a way to guarantee regular KOs? It's different for every boxer. Ow. Damn it. Keep doing that. I don't have good instincts in this game. Shit. Damn it. Ah, shit! Hey, that feeling when I overextend a combo in games where I won and die? Yeah. Yeah. Ah, shit. Shit, I got off. Ah, shit. I was doing that a lot. Nice day for fishing earlier. Yep. Damn it. Yeah. Knockout. What? All right. I did what it said on the tin. I got punched out. I did my duty. What was that? What's y'all's favorite weird speedrunning trick? Mine's probably Famicom Dragon Quest 3 or popping. People deliberately heat up their carts with a hot plate to cause a flip a physical bit that lets you start at level 9. After I found out about the fucking Super Mario 3 wrong warp, it's gotta be that. Like, I feel like that's about as close as video games get to like real life creepypasta. It's absolutely insane. He misinterpreted instructions unclear. Please repeat. San Andreas is bananas. How do what do you do in San Andreas? I'm not familiar with that one. Which wrong warp is that? The one in World 7? What, like 7-1? Where through a very, like, just a disgustingly specific series of actions, you can load certain bits into the memory that let you warp in a pipe that doesn't actually exist directly to the final room with Peach in it. All kinds of stuff, including going negative money to warp to the last mission. Oh shit, that's awesome. That's really cool. Mario Odyssey has a great trick where you set your Switch right before daylight savings time. It lets you skip waiting for a seed plant to grow when you spring an hour ahead. That's really funny. That's really funny. Oh man, all right, chat. Let's make a deal. I want to make a deal with you. Or rather, I want to provide you an option here. If you would like to go ahead and finish the magazine tonight, I'm gonna close requests, and we're just gonna zip through Now Playing. We'll discuss it. I'll skim through the evaluations of these games, and then we'll blow through the rest of the magazine. If, however, you do want to request stuff from Now Playing, I'll probably stop here and finish on Thursday. What would y'all prefer? Because I'm looking at this like I need to get to bed. So I can zoom through this and finish it tonight, or we can come back to the Now Playing next week if y'all really want to like actually play some stuff out of here. Can't answer without seeing what's on offer. Artie Lightfoot, Jack Bros, Mech Warrior, Mega Man X3, NBA Live 96, NFL Quarterback Club, Nestor's Funky Bowling, PGA European Tour, Prehistoric Man, Sink or Swim, Syndicate, Toy Story, and I can't play the X-Band modem. So, absolutely nothing that did not show up in the magazine this time. Gothic 2 has an all-timer for you, whereas a quest relying on checking for your militia or mage faction status. Unless you let yourself get turned into a sheep, which the game assumes your experience numbers. So you skip the quest entirely. Alright, zooming on through. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and button this stuff up. And we'll do a real... Yes, I cannot let you request X-Band modem. I don't have anything for that, unfortunately. I wish that I did. It's not like the Satellaview where I can make it work. All right, Artie Lightfoot. What do you do when you find a piece of the rainbow? I don't know. Make a wish come true, apparently. Excuse me. Nice graphics, good play control, not much innovation, lots of repetition. I feel like a game like this, repetition is going to be pretty deadly, frankly. Jack Bros. It's Halloween and the witching hour approaches for Jack Frost, Jack Lantern, or Jack Skeleton. 3 fairy creatures who can't be caught away from the underworld after midnight, or they vanish in a flash of red LED vapor. Good graphics, the clock keep things moving, more challenging than you might expect passwords. Minus is poor text and fairies on Halloween? Question mark? I don't know what your fucking problem is here. GoldenEye is discovered looking down the entire game, makes it faster due to no slowdown. Oh my god, that's crazy. Just the way that was discovered is so funny. MechWarrior 3050. Cool theme, good control, passwords for saving progress. Very tough at first, sharp learning curve. All of that is true, I think. Mega Man X3. Good graphics, play control, and lots of action, fun. Negative, if you've played one Mega Man game. I suppose they're not really wrong. The mainline Mega Man games got kind of samey by the time of 6. And then the X game, not a whole lot changed with the X games between the first 3, to be fair. Of course, post X3, they changed, but not for the better. NBA Live 96. Lots of options, NBA logos and players. The Super Game Boy option performs poorly. Oh no. They have disgraced themselves before the mighty Super Game Boy. NFL Quarterback Club, easy to learn new teams, no quarterback club skill events, no Super Game Boy enhancements, and poor sound. Nestor's Funky Bowling. Nestor finally sneaks into a real video game, and it's a bowl. Not smoking one, though. Very solid bowling action, fun challenge, and practice modes. Alternating play on Virtual Boy is awkward. Yeah, dude. I can imagine. Apparently there's a door in Metal Gear Solid you can clip through, and a streamer discovered it entirely by accident, so they named the skip after. Oh, that's awesome. I love stuff like that. PGA European Tour, good graphics and ranked courses. Poor putting. I can actually commiserate with that one. Because, yeah, the putting kind of sucks ass in this. Prehistoric Man. Good graphics, play control, lots of variety, great fun, especially in particular stages where you have special abilities. However, the challenge isn't always very high, can be tedious at times, and a limited save feature. Sink or swim. They keep saying sink or swim borrows heavily from Lemmings. Provides challenges of fun along with a few headaches. Theme may seem desperate and sailors tend to get squished if you're not quick enough. The graphics and music are lighthearted. On the positives, challenging and fun. Negatives, infrequent passwords and lots of repetition. 2-world speedrun where you bait the first time attacking the big bad NPC in the first 2 minutes of the game is great. I've always heard of that one. I need to look it up. Syndicate. Both action and strategy required great music. Small character graphics, slow learning curve. At times you can't see your character and difficult control. All of these are true. All of these are problems in this game. I don't have a real problem with the small character graphics. They don't seem small enough to really be a problem. But yeah, it's a slow game, and the way the maps are designed, sometimes you just can't see your character when you really, really need to. And the controls really could have been more fluid. Toy Story. Beautiful graphics, variety of play. Play control feels a bit loose. Hit detection is poor in places, and no voices from the movie. They mention it as a 3D Doom-like area. We're already getting Doom-likes in the vernacular. And the X-Band... Okay, I'm actually going to read the X-Band modem, because I'm curious about this one. Company is Catapult. It says it was released in September of '95. It may be a departure for now playing to cover accessories, but the X-Band modem from Catapult is cool enough to warrant the coverage. Two-player games almost always involve more surprises and more fun than single-player games. That alone is reason enough to remind players about this great game-playing option. Another good reason to include the X-Band in now playing is to dispel myths about the cost. A lot of people don't understand how the cost structure works. After the initial price of the unit, which is only $19.99, you have 1 month free use of the X-Band network for as many game connects as you want. After that, there are 2 monthly plans. All you can stomach for $9.95, and the limited connect for $4.95, which includes 50 connects with anything over that, costing an extra 15 cents each. You can also restrict your connections to local numbers so you don't run up long distance charges. Remember long distance charges, chat? Totally up to you. If you do play long distance, you can sign up with X-Band nationwide, which lets you connect for $3.95 per hour any time of day, thanks to a deal X-Band struck with MCI. Oh wow, that name brings back memories. More confusion exists about how the system works, but it's really very simple. The following games are supported on the Super NES X-Band at this time: MK2, NHL 95, NBA Jam Tournament Edition, Super Street Fighter 2, Madden 95, Madden 96, Weapon Lord, Ken Griffey Jr., Killer Instinct, and Doom. 10 games. MK3 and NHL 96 may be ready by the time you read this, and Super Mario Kart is just around the corner. All you need to play is the game, the modem, and a phone. You plug the modem in your Super NES, then game into the modem. modem line is plugged into the phone line. After that, you just fire up the Super NES and the modem automatically connects to the X-band network. You play against friends or unknown gamers, write messages, receive emails, join in contests and leagues, and play at any time. There are enough X-banders already that you seldom have to wait for a partner. Positives, 2-player competition at any time with some of the best games ever. Negatives, easy to get hooked, but local play option helps. Really good video on how the X-Band was created by ex-Apple peeps. Oh yeah, post in Discord, I'd love to see that. Think the X-Band had way better support in Genesis? That's very forward-thinking, isn't it? It was, if anything, ahead of its time, because we know how online play blew up for pretty much everything. So yeah, they didn't give it a power meter rating, because obviously it's a peripheral, it's not its own thing. The big winners this month, Mega Man X3 and Prehistoric Man took editor picks, followed by Nestor's Funky Bowling, and then only one of them, Terry, was big on PGA European Tour and Toy Story. So we know, chat, we know in the future never to trust Terry's opinion on anything. Good to know. All right, pack watch time. Mohawk and headphone jack. From Solid Software. This Super NES game combines some of the best known features of games such as Uniracers and Sonic the Hedgehog. Wraps in a funky soundtrack, spins you around with innovative shifting gravity, and tops it all off with excellent options. What's it about? Two bear bros with green and pink mohawks living in closed cavern worlds where arrow switches spin the center of gravity. The X-Men did well enough in Japan to get a Saturn version. Wow, that's a shock. Yeah, on your side you have bombs. The Mode 7 graphics could use some work. The release date hasn't been set, but it'll be spring or summer, possibly early as April. Bound High. Played Bound High in Japan at last Shoshinkai. No. Virtual Boy players may be surprised by both the simplicity and the fun of Bound High as they control a bounding sphere that knocks enemies off when it bounces on them. The trick is to stay on the playfield. Bouncing ball game on the Virtual Boy. Still can't really say they're worth the trouble. Wayne Gretzky hockey coming for the NU64. College Slam from Acclaim. Cutthroat Island. 1996 Olympic Sports. A Lobo game from Ocean. Oh, this is a fighting game. Weird. And boy, you play a ball. How innovative. More Toy Story. I didn't ask for this. I didn't need this. Mission Impossible for the N64. Hudson Soft moving their offices from the Bay Area to Washington. The Smurfs on Game Boy. SNES Olympics. Nintendo 64 Conference. Developers Conference in Kyoto. Bound High got canceled. I tried out the prototype ROM in a VR Virtual Boy emulator. It was kind of fun. Okay. I might actually have it in my unofficial set. I'll have to check. Okay, nothing really groundbreaking in this Nintendo 64 thing. So that's it, chat. If you want to go to infinity and beyond, you can go behind the scenes at Disney Interactive. Test games now in development. That's really cool. A Disneyland contest prize. Second prize gets toys, toys, toys. Pretty cool. All right, chat, that's it. Next issue, March 1996, Super Mario RPG. Cutthroat Island College Slam and 3D Tetris. But hey, we can revisit Mario RPG if you're so inclined. I feel like we did that not that long ago, as it happens, so. All right, but that's it. We're done. We're done with February of 1996. Next week, on Thursday, we're gonna take a little break from the Power Hours. We're gonna be doing something that I just found out about, and I really want to take a look at. Let me actually see. Perfect. Okay. In fact, I'm going to show you what we're going to do. I got an email from the developer of this and immediately recognized the name. OK Impala is the handle of the ROM hacker who made the Zelda 2 ROM hack, Amita's Curse. The one that I thought was a huge improvement over the base game. They have been hard at work over the last couple of years making a ROM hack of Final Fantasy Adventure, the original Mana game. It's their own original interpretation of it. And they emailed me saying they wanted me to check it out. So on Thursday, we're gonna check it out. We'll spend the night playing it. And I tell you what, I'll even make it a democratic playthrough. I'll let y'all, I mean, I don't actually know how long it is. But if it spills over from one night, I'll let y'all decide if we want to do a full playthrough of it. Judging by its pedigree, going off of Amita's Curse, I'm gonna assume it's worth it. So yeah, I am very excited about this because again, I can't stress enough how much I loved Amita's Curse. It was such a great original remix of Zelda 2. It really felt like Zelda 2 with modern design sensibilities. So yeah, pretty excited about this. So tomorrow night is nothing because I don't stream on Sundays and I'm really gonna need the sleep this week as I finish out my current employment. Monday we will be back with more Fallout 3. I will be doing Fallout 3 Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We'll be doing Embers of Mana on Thursday, and it will be a democratic playthrough, so if it takes more than one night to finish, I'll let y'all decide if you want to continue it on Saturday or start the next issue of Nintendo Power. And then Friday, we'll see. I am thinking I might do something special for Friday as like a little celebration. To keep my spirits high after the store closes, but we'll see. I'll keep you all informed. So for now, I'm gonna go get some sleep because I'm about to lose a very necessary hour of it before I go into work at 5 a.m. So let's see who's up. A lot of people tonight, damn, look at that. Oh shit. I am going to yeet you over to Smite. Smite is doing Mega Man Legends, and I know y'all like Mega Man Legends. So let's go hang out with them. So yeah, anyway, chat, thank you so much for coming out tonight. Thank you for joining me for this admittedly concatenated Power Hours night. I do apologize for cutting a bunch of these streams short these days. It is just just fatigue-wise, it's pretty hard to get through the whole 3 hours, but that's not going to be a problem after next Friday. So, bear with me for a few more nights, and then we'll be back on a more regular, more energetic streaming schedule for the foreseeable future. Yeah. Anyway, gang, thanks again for coming out. Hopefully I'll see you on Monday for the continuation of Fallout 3. But until then, as always, y'all take care. Bye, everybody.